Hi, I've got a problem. Uh, More like I'm confused, actually. Um, there is a name that I see all over the place here, and I'm hoping somebody can help me clarify who this person is and what they mean to this country. So, um, the name is Thomas A. Becket. Um, he's a guy from a long time ago, from the 12th century, and I know that much. And he's a saint, Saint Thomas. And I found that stuff out. But yeah, I don't get it. He's a good guy or is he a bad guy? Um, I, I'm so confused. Like he's is he a hero in English history or is he a bad guy in English history? And if he's a bad guy, why are there buildings and churches and hospitals and stuff named after him everywhere? What? Yeah. So help me out here. Can somebody? I'm going to take you through a bit of the history as I know it, the research that I've done, and then yeah, and then maybe in the comments you can enlighten me a little bit. But before I get into that, before we get into all of that, I'm Bill. This is Coffee at the Crossroads. Welcome. If this is your first time here, thanks for showing up. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much. That's awesome. So yeah, let's jump into it. Thomas A. Becket. Apparently, he's actually just Thomas Becket. He was the Archbishop of Canterbury, and he was gruesomely murdered in Canterbury Cathedral by some dudes because the king was mad at him. Basically, that's sort of it. But they stabbed him and shot arrows into him and bashed his brains out and stuff. So that's bad, right? I mean, I think we can all agree that that's bad. But yeah, and so you think, okay, well, he's a saint, Saint Thomas. He's a martyr. Obviously, he died for doing what he thought was right and for upholding what he thought were the views of the church. So that's all good. But then he has, sort of around in the 16th century, they added an A to his name to make fun of him, to make him sound more like a kind of Robin Hood character, this kind of like rough and, something. They kind of mocked him. He became Thomas A Becket or Thomas A Becket to sound more like a contemporary of some of the kind of ruffians of the time or something weird. So that's weird, right? I mean, this is a guy who's a martyr and now he's viewed poorly. I don't quite get it. So hopefully somebody can sort of enlighten me on that. What's also interesting in my research is that in 2005, a bunch of historians on a BBC program voted him as the worst historical figure of the 12th century. And he was voted by BBC viewers as second of worst of all English historical figures, behind only Jack the Ripper. So you're like, okay, this dude, he's a martyr and he's a saint, but he's like second to Jack the Ripper as a bad guy. Like, and if that's the case, why are churches and schools and hospitals and roads named after him? That's what I don't get. So hopefully somebody here is a smarty pants when it comes to history and they can explain what's going on to me because it's not clear. Yeah, bizarre, eh? So yeah, I mean, first off, okay, let's back up here a little bit. The reason this came up and the reason I was interested is because there is a fantastic little pub up the way. It's not a little pub, it's quite a big pub up the way called the Thomas A. Becket. And it's not far from Thomas A. Becket Junior School. And there is a Thomas A. Becket Infant School. And there is a Becket Road. And there's the St. Thomas Hospital in London. And there's St. Thomas churches all over the place. And there's Becket Road and Becket Street and all over England. There's all these things that are named after Thomas Becket. But then he's viewed as a bad guy. It just confuses me. We don't have like Jack the Ripper Street, right? So, or like the hospital of Jack the Ripper. You know what I mean? Like it's so bizarre. So, I know that historical characters are complex. I get it, particularly when it comes to things like politics and the church. Somebody might view him as a bad guy, or as somebody who is not favorable, and someone else might think he did great work or whatever. It's just weird to me, and confusing. So yeah, and your little secret, I'm actually only talking about this because I want to go to the Thomas A Becket Pub, because I thought it would be a good excuse to go get a pint at the pub. I get to, I get to frame it in as a YouTube video, but then I get to drive around a little bit, and I get to go see the schools, and I can take you down Becket Road and all that stuff, and we can check this stuff out. And then we can go to the pub, and it'll all be part of research. And maybe when I'm having a pint at Becket Pub, it will all become clear, and I'll be enlightened as to why Thomas Becket, or Thomas A Becket, is a polarizing figure in English history. So let's go. All right, so here I am. I'm on Becket Road, if you can see that up there. Let me see if I'll make that a little bit more clear. But yeah, as I mentioned, the name is everywhere. So I'm just here. This is a little bit of a quick video to just show you that the name is everywhere, and it's all over the place, and lots of stuff is named after Thomas Becket, and this road is one of those things. All right, and as further proof that lots of stuff is named after Thomas A Becket, or Thomas Becket, I'm here at the Thomas A Becket Infant School. I gotta say, it strikes me as weird that this guy who is voted as the second worst guy in the history by viewers in English history, behind Jack the Ripper, has an infant school named after him. So that's weird, right? I mean, I'm not the only one who thinks that's weird, right? So anyway, again, as I keep saying, if somebody can enlighten me, why is he a bad guy? Is he a good guy? Let me know. That'd be awesome. Thank you so much. I've got more spots to shoot as well, so we're going to pick those up shortly. Bear with me. And here we are again at the junior school, and as you can see over my shoulder there it is, Thomas A Becket Junior School. So again, another important place named after Thomas Becket. So I'm continuing. Like, as I said, we've got roads, we've got junior schools, infant schools, and our final stop is going to be the Thomas A Becket Pub. So join me as I go and check out what that's all about. Hi again. So here I am across the street from that fantastic looking building right there, and that is the Thomas A Becket Pub. So as I promised, I'm going to go inside, have a pint, see what we can find out about Thomas Becket, and why he's such a polarizing figure in English history. Hi again. Here I am in the Thomas A Becket Pub here in Worthing. I've got myself a nice frosty pint. It's Wednesday afternoon. It's noon somewhere, as they say, and so I'm going to enjoy this. As I said, this whole video has always just been a setup for me to come and be able to enjoy a pint on a Wednesday afternoon. I have to share this. So I had someone comment. Someone made the comment that their dad used to say, "The sun's up over the yardarm," which is a naval saying. I'm probably getting that wrong, but a naval saying about, it's sort of somewhere after about 11 o'clock, you're allowed to have a rum or have a beer. So that's me. It's actually it's almost 2 o'clock here, so I'm fully safe. I don't feel any guilt whatsoever. But the other big piece of news is that I found out from one of the gentlemen here that works at the pub that apparently Thomas Becket, when he was still alive back in the 12th century, he visited this area, spent some time in this area, For what I don't know. Maybe I'll do some research and find out. But maybe some of you can share that piece of information. But apparently he spent time in this area, so that's why we have the Thomas A Becket Pub and the Thomas A Becket Junior School and the Thomas A Becket Infant School and Becket Road and all that stuff. So there's a little bit, mystery solved maybe, or at least some clues to why that's his name is on so much stuff here. So yeah, but as I said, it's all just been a ruse to get me out here, come to the Thomas A Becket and have a pint. So I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, as I've said, if you have more to share, if you know more about the history of Thomas Becket, Thomas A. Becket, that would be great. He's still a polarizing figure, obviously. As I mentioned, voted in 2005, voted as the second worst figure in English history behind only Jack the Ripper. That's bizarre to me. You cannot like his politics and you cannot like his religion even, but it seems like he's got a pretty bad rap. But anyway, that's my 2 cents, and maybe someone can enlighten all of us on why that is. But until then, thanks so much for watching. I'm Bill. This is Coffee at the Crossroads. I'm going to enjoy my pint now. If you enjoyed this video, please give me the thumbs up. Please share, like, subscribe, watch more videos, tell your friends, all that stuff. But until next time, I'm Bill. Coffee at the Crossroads. Cheers.